Good morning, dear friend. Before you step into this Wednesday, August 19th, remember this. You do not have to know everything that is coming today to know who is already there. Maybe you woke up with a quiet heaviness in your chest. Nothing dramatic happened. There may not even be one big problem you can point to. But your mind is already moving ahead of you, thinking about the phone call you need to make, the bill that still needs to be paid, the conversation you have been avoiding, the decision you are not sure how to make, or the person you love who has been carrying a burden you cannot fix. Some mornings are like that. Your feet have barely touched the floor, yet your thoughts are already miles down the road. And perhaps there is a door you have been praying would finally open. An opportunity, a job, an answer, a new beginning. You have waited, prayed, tried to remain faithful, and still you cannot see what comes next. That uncertainty can wear on the heart. It can make you wonder whether God sees how tired you are of waiting. But dear friend, a closed door does not mean God has forgotten your name. A delay does not mean He has abandoned your path, and the things you cannot see today are not hidden from Him. God sees the meeting before you enter the room. He sees the conversation before the first word is spoken. He sees every decision, every unexpected turn, every opportunity, and every concern surrounding your family. You are not walking into an unknown Wednesday alone. God is with you. Let that truth settle into your heart for a moment. You do not need to force every door open. You do not need to predict every outcome. You do not need to carry the entire day before it has even begun. Today, we will place it into God's hands. We will ask Him to go before us, to open the doors that are right for us, to close the ones that would lead us away from His best, and to protect us from every evil and every danger we cannot recognize on our own. So whatever you brought into this morning, fear, financial pressure, family concerns, loneliness, uncertainty, or simply the exhaustion of waiting, bring it honestly. God sees you. God knows what you need. And before you take another step into this day, you can trust that His presence is already ahead of you. And this is where faith becomes deeply practical, because sometimes the hardest thing is not believing that God can make a way. It is believing that He can make a way when nothing around you seems to be changing. You may have prayed about the same situation for weeks. You may have watched other people receive opportunities while you are still waiting. You may have done everything you know to do, and yet the answer still feels just beyond your reach. That kind of waiting can quietly drain your hope. But Scripture gives us a different way to see the closed places in our lives. In Revelation chapter 3, verses 7 and 8, Jesus is described as the one who opens and no one can shut, and who shuts and no one can open. Then He says, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Think about that for a moment. Your future is not ultimately controlled by another person's approval. Your next opportunity is not beyond the reach of God. What appears impossible from where you are standing is still completely visible to Him. And this does not mean every door we want will open. Sometimes we discover later that the door we cried over was actually a mercy when it stayed closed. Sometimes God protects us by saying no. Sometimes He redirects us through delay. And sometimes He asks us to wait because what He is preparing requires timing we cannot yet understand. That is why morning prayers to start your day can become more than a routine. They can become a place where we stop trying to control every outcome and begin trusting the one who sees the whole road. So today, do not measure God's faithfulness only by the doors that have opened so far. Remember what He has already carried you through. He saw you in yesterday's uncertainty. He sustained you through seasons you once thought would overwhelm you. He provided strength when yours was running low. He has been faithful before, and He has not changed. God sees you now. You are not forgotten in the waiting. You are not invisible because someone overlooked you. You are not without a future because one opportunity disappeared. There are paths you cannot see yet. There are answers you do not have yet. There is grace already waiting for the moments ahead. So let your heart say, I will trust you, Lord. I will trust your timing. I will trust the doors you open, and I will trust you when a door remains closed. And as a simple act of faith today, write this declaration in the comments. God is opening the right doors for me. Let those words remind your own heart that you do not have to force what God knows how to prepare. His wisdom goes farther than your sight. His grace reaches beyond your uncertainty, and His faithful hand is still guiding your way. So let this trust move with you now, beyond this quiet moment, and into the ordinary places of your day. Father, go before me. I may not know what every hour will bring, but you do. You know the conversations that will require patience. You know the decisions that may leave me wondering which direction is right. You know the moments when I might feel rushed, distracted, discouraged, or tempted to depend only on what I can figure out for myself. Go before me in all of it. Prepare my path with your wisdom. Guide me toward what is good, and gently turn me away from what is not meant for me. When I am uncertain, steady my heart. When I am impatient, remind me that I do not have to force an answer. When I feel pressure to make something happen immediately, give me enough peace to wait for your direction. Lord, go before me into my work today. Go before me into every meeting, every phone call, every responsibility, and every conversation. Go before me when I leave my home and when I return. Go before me in the choices that seem important, and even in the small choices I might normally make without thinking. I need your guidance there too. Sometimes it is the little decisions that quietly shape the direction of an entire day. Walk beside me, Lord. Guide every step I take. Keep my heart sensitive to your direction. I choose to trust you when the path is clear. I choose to trust you when the path is uncertain. I choose to trust you when progress feels slow. You see farther than I can see. You understand what I cannot understand. You already know what I will encounter before I ever arrive there, and that gives my heart room to breathe. I am not walking alone. I am not carrying this day by myself. God is with me. Father, if there is an opportunity I should recognize, give me wisdom to notice it. If there is a conversation I need to handle differently, give me grace before I speak. If plans change unexpectedly, keep frustration from taking control of me. Help me remember that a changed plan does not mean you have left the path. Your presence is not limited by my schedule. Your guidance does not disappear when life becomes inconvenient. So I place my steps in your hands. Go before me, walk beside me, stay near to me, and wherever this day leads, teach my heart to follow you with faith rather than running ahead in fear. And as you guide my steps, Father, place your covering over everything connected to my life. I do not only bring myself before you, I bring the people whose names live close to my heart, my family, my children and loved ones. The people I think about when the house gets quiet, and my mind begins wondering whether they are okay. You know how easy it is to carry concern for someone we love, especially when we cannot be beside them every hour or control the choices they make. So I release that burden to you. Watch over them, Lord. Be near when I cannot be near. Guide them when I do not know what advice to give. Give them wisdom in their decisions, peace in their minds, and strength for whatever responsibilities they carry today. Your word reminds me in Psalm 91 that the one who dwells in the shelter of the Most High rests under the shadow of the Almighty. I hold on to that picture today. Not a life where nothing unexpected ever happens, but a life that is never outside your presence. Cover my home with your peace. Cover my family with your grace. Cover my coming and going. Cover my work, my responsibilities, my conversations, and the places I will enter throughout this day. Protect my mind from thoughts that steal my peace before anything has even happened. Protect my heart from unnecessary fear. Protect me from rushing into choices simply because I feel pressure to decide quickly. There are things I cannot anticipate. There are circumstances I cannot control. There are moments when I will not have enough information to know what is ahead, and that is exactly why I need you. You see what I cannot see. You know what I cannot know. You understand what I might overlook, and you are able to guide me through what I could never prepare for on my own. Sometimes peaceful prayers are not about pretending that every concern has disappeared. They are about remembering that our concerns do not have to become our master. So when anxiety tries to pull my thoughts toward every possible outcome, bring me back to what is true. You are here. You are faithful. You are watching over those I love. I choose to trust you with my family. I choose to trust you with my home. I choose to trust you with the places I cannot personally reach. God sees us. God is with us. And I do not have to spend this day expecting something to go wrong. Let me walk carefully, wisely, and peacefully, knowing that my life and the lives of those I love are held in hands far stronger than mine. And because my life is held in your hands, Father, I ask you to guard me from what is harmful, misleading, and wrong for me. There are things I can recognize and avoid, but there are also things I may not notice until much later. A wrong influence can look harmless at first. A rushed decision can feel reasonable when pressure is high. A conversation can leave fear growing in my mind long after it ends. So give me discernment. Keep me from people, choices, places, and situations that would pull me away from your peace and wisdom. Protect my mind from fear that creates problems before they even exist. Protect my heart from discouragement when something does not happen as quickly as I hoped. Protect me from bitterness when another person receives the opportunity I wanted. Protect me from comparison, because comparison can make a blessed life feel empty. And Lord, protect me from deception. If something looks good but is not good for me, help me recognize it. If an opportunity carries consequences I cannot yet see, give me enough patience to wait. If someone speaks with confidence but without truth, give me wisdom before I agree. I do not want fear to make my decisions, and I do not want excitement to make them either. I want your guidance. Your word says in Psalm 91 that you are our refuge and our fortress, and today I choose to rest in that promise. You are my refuge when uncertainty rises. You are my shelter when my thoughts become restless. You are my steady place when circumstances change without warning. I will not spend this day expecting trouble around every corner. I will walk with wisdom, but I will not live afraid. I will pay attention, but I will not surrender my peace to endless worry. You are with me. God sees what I cannot see. God understands what I cannot understand. God is present, even in the moments I did not plan for. So guard my steps, guard my thoughts, guard my words, guard the decisions I make when nobody else is there to advise me. Keep me from what would harm my peace, weaken my faith, or lead me away from the path you have for me. And when fear whispers that I must control everything to remain safe, remind me again that my security has never depended on knowing everything ahead of time. I belong to you. I trust your wisdom. I trust your presence. I trust your faithful care over every part of my day. And Father, because I trust your wisdom, I ask for something that is not always easy to pray. Close every door that is not from you. There are times when I want something so badly that I can convince myself it must be right, simply because I have waited for it, worked for it, or imagined how much better life would be if it finally happened. But you see farther than my desire. You see where every road leads. So if I am reaching for something that will steal my peace, redirect me. If I am chasing an opportunity that looks promising but will pull me away from what matters most, slow me down. If I am trying to hold on to a relationship, plan, position, or expectation that no longer belongs in my life, give me the grace to loosen my grip. That can hurt, I know that. A closed door can feel personal when we have prayed beside it for a long time. We can wonder why someone else was chosen, why the answer was no, why the plan changed at the last minute, or why something that seemed so close suddenly moved beyond our reach. In those moments, remind me that rejection is not always abandonment, delay is not always denial, and a closed door is not always a loss. Sometimes your protection looks like a door that simply does not open. Sometimes your mercy looks like a path, ending before I understand why. Lord, I do not want every door. I want the doors you have prepared for me. Close the wrong doors. Open the right doors. Give me wisdom to know the difference. Keep me from forcing what requires constant compromise just to remain open. Keep me from mistaking pressure for purpose. Keep me from saying yes simply because I am afraid another opportunity will never come. God sees me. I do not have to panic. What you have for me does not require me to become someone I am not in order to receive it. And if I have already stepped towards something that is not good for me, guide me back without shame. Correct my direction with mercy. Help me listen when peace is missing, when wise counsel raises a concern, or when something inside me keeps saying, wait. I choose your wisdom over my impatience. I choose your timing over my fear of missing out. I choose your direction over my own need to control the outcome. Father, remove what needs to be removed, preserve what is good, and make my path clearer, one step at a time. I may not understand every closed door today, but I can trust the one who sees what is on the other side. And if you are closing what is not right for me, Father, then give me courage to believe that you are also preparing what is. I bring before you the places where I need a new way forward. You know the financial pressure I may be carrying. You know the work situation that needs to change, the application waiting for an answer, the business decision that needs wisdom, the relationship that needs healing, and the opportunity I have been hoping would finally come. Nothing about my need surprises you. Nothing about my waiting makes you distant. So where there seems to be no clear path, make a way according to your will. Open doors of favor that I could never open through effort alone. Bring the right opportunities at the right time. Bring trustworthy people into my path, people who carry wisdom, kindness, and integrity. Provide what is needed for my home and family. Give me wisdom to recognize an opportunity when it comes, because sometimes an answer from you does not arrive looking exactly the way I imagined it would. Keep my eyes open. Keep my heart humble. Lord, I ask for provision, but also teach me to manage what you provide. I ask for opportunity, but give me character to handle it well. I ask for favor, but keep me grateful. I ask for progress, but do not let progress pull me away from your presence. This is where daily faith becomes real. It is trusting you while the email has not arrived yet. It is trusting you when the numbers still feel tight. It is trusting you when another week has passed and the situation looks almost the same. I choose to believe that silence does not mean you are absent. I choose to believe that waiting does not mean nothing is happening. God sees me. God knows what I need. God has not forgotten me. So make a way where I cannot see a way. Open what I cannot open. Lead me toward opportunities I could not arrange on my own. Bring clarity where I have been confused, provision where there has been lack, restoration where something good has been strained, and fresh hope where disappointment has made me cautious. I will not chase every possibility out of fear. I will follow your direction. I will do the work that is mine to do, and I will trust you with what is beyond my control. Let the doors you choose bring peace with them, not constant confusion. Let what you provide become a blessing, not only to me, but through me to the people you have placed in my life. And as you lead me toward what is good, Father, change the way I walk through the hours ahead. I do not want fear making every decision before I have even had time to pray. I do not want uncertainty turning ordinary moments into reasons to worry. I have done that before. I have imagined conversations that never happened, prepared myself for problems that never came, and carried tomorrow in my mind while today was still asking for my attention. So I release that habit to you. I will not walk in fear. I will walk in faith. I will not let uncertainty control my thoughts. I will trust your guidance. I will not force what you have not opened. I will follow where you lead. When something changes unexpectedly, help me respond with wisdom instead of panic. When I receive news I did not expect, remind me that you are still present. When someone misunderstands me, give me patience before I react. When I have to make a difficult decision, quiet the pressure inside me long enough to recognize what is wise. I do not need to have every answer this morning. I only need enough light for the next faithful step. Father, strengthen me where fear has made me hesitant. There are moments when disappointment teaches us to expect disappointment again. We stop hoping because hoping feels risky. We hold back because we remember what happened the last time. But I do not want yesterday's pain deciding how I enter today's possibilities. Renew my courage. Let wisdom remain, but remove the fear that keeps me frozen. Let experience make me discerning, not hopeless. You have carried me through days I thought would be too much for me. You gave me strength when I felt empty. You gave me peace in moments when nothing around me had changed yet. You were faithful then. You are faithful now. God is with me. I am not walking alone. So I choose faith over fear, peace over panic, patience over pressure, wisdom over impulse, trust over the need to control everything. I may still feel nervous sometimes, and that does not mean my faith has disappeared. It simply means I am human, learning again to place what I cannot control into your hands. When fear returns, I will return to you. When uncertainty rises, I will remember your faithfulness. When the path feels unfamiliar, I will keep listening for your direction. My confidence is not that everything will happen exactly as I want. My confidence is that wherever I go, your presence can meet me there, your wisdom can guide me there, and your grace will be enough for whatever this day asks of me. So as this prayer comes to rest, let the truth we declared earlier remain with you. God is opening the right doors for me. Father, I place everything I have carried through this prayer into your hands. The unanswered questions, the financial concerns, the people I love, the opportunities I hope for, the decisions still waiting to be made. I surrender all of it to you. I do not know every moment ahead, but I know I do not have to face those moments alone. Thank you for going before me. Thank you for staying beside me. Thank you for watching over my family, guiding my choices, and giving me wisdom when the road is not clear. Thank you for the doors you open, and even for the doors you lovingly keep closed. I trust that your wisdom sees farther than my wishes. I trust your timing. I trust your protection. I trust your provision, and I trust that your grace will meet me wherever I need it today. Let this powerful morning prayer remain in my heart when the quiet of this moment gives way to phone calls, responsibilities, traffic, work, family needs, and unexpected changes. When anxiety tries to return, remind me, God is opening the right doors for me. When I feel overlooked, remind me that I am still seen. When I become impatient, remind me that waiting with you is never wasted time. May peace fill my mind, grace shape my words, wisdom guide my decisions, and favor accompany the opportunities you have chosen for me. May my home know your peace. May my loved ones experience your care, and may I recognize your goodness in ordinary moments I might otherwise miss. And dear friend, if these prayers have become a quiet place where you meet with God each morning, you can support this channel with a like and subscribe so we can continue walking together day by day. If you feel led and have the means to give, your support helps the people who prepare and share these prayers continue creating this space for others. There is never any pressure. Your presence here matters, and your prayers matter. Father, bless every person listening. Give them peace for what they cannot control, strength for what they must face, wisdom for the next step, and hope for what they cannot yet see. And as we move forward from this moment, may we carry one quiet confidence with us. Whatever waits beyond the next door, we will never arrive there without your presence. In Jesus' name, amen.